Hello, it's me again. I'm a bit depressed today, if I'm honest. I'll just point you down there, just for a sec. Let's get the chat set up, or even get the obligatory delay at the start here as I just try and get the chat up. Because I'm not a professional streamer, certainly not. It's just taking its time, bear with me. It really is taking its time today. There we go, see the streams there, 11 watching. Hello, welcome. Hope everyone's well. Had some bad news about an hour ago actually. So yeah, I'm sorry if I sound a bit down. I'm feeling a bit down, but you know what? I decided I need to do something like this to just take my mind off how I'm feeling. With everything that's going on with lockdown and you know all that stuff, I was depressed enough before the day started today. But yeah, my mum rang me in tears about an hour ago to tell me my uncle in Canada has just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, lung cancer. So yeah, as you can imagine, I'm upset. I'm not as upset as my mum because obviously I don't know my uncle that well. He lives in Canada. I've only seen him a few times, but I'll tell you what, I've got very fond memories of the few times I have spent with my uncle. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go on about that too much, but yeah, it's just one of the reasons why I might sound a bit down today. I think I've got progressively more depressing over the last few streams, haven't I? There always seems to be something just the last few videos dragging me down a bit. So the first thing I'll show you, I've taken the 3 screws out of this. We'll have a quick look inside here. I might need to order a capacitor for this. It's a Sinclair Spectrum power supply this, yeah I do. 4,000, let me try and rotate it around. 4,700 microfarad 16 volt. I know for a fact I've got no 4,700s in stock for that, so I will order a cap for that and we'll replace that cap. There's not a lot else to these. I mean, if we just try and see if we can pull this out, it's probably, this board is probably soldered onto the transformer, in fact it is. And you can see we've got a cable grip here holding that in place. Let's just unscrew those 2 screws there. I'm just curious to see what's on that board. I'm guessing it's literally going to be a bridge rectifier. I use some diodes and the cap, maybe a resistor. I think I can see the diodes from here. You can probably see 2 of them down there. I see 2 down the other side as well. You can check the fuse as well while we're here, but if we just carefully now pull that out, there you go, the whole lot's come out there, so you can see it. If we have a look at the board there, yeah look, it's just 2 diodes there and 2 diodes there. So the 4 diodes forming our bridge to convert the AC coming out of the transformer into a sort of bumpy DC, and that capacitor is just to smooth out the ripple on that bumpy DC. That's how simple those Sinclair power supplies are. Can I get that back in there now? Yeah, I'll just put it back in there. I won't screw the thing back in because we're going to get that board out in a later video. So I'll order the caps for that. Well, the cap, there's only 1 cap, and we'll revisit that. I can't get that back in now. What's going on with that there? Oh, it goes right down there like that. That's it. Right, I'll put those screws in there just so I don't lose it. Let's have a look at the plug whilst we're here. I think it was Stephen Leary who made the point the other day that when you used to buy systems like this back in the day when they came out, that they didn't have a plug. You always got the power supplies with just a bare lead, and you had to fit a mains plug yourself. So you don't get them like that anymore. Obviously they're moulded these days, aren't they, for safety reasons and stuff. So yeah, you can see that's been trapped there. Can you see the brown? It's got like a bit of a flat bit on it that's been trapped at some point in the past. So those probably just need cutting down a bit. The cable relief is okay here, that's holding it in place. I see straight away that's got a 3 amp fuse there. So yeah, I think we could do it now. I guess it's only going to take a minute, isn't it? Just shorten these a little bit. Let's just unplug these, unscrew them rather. Unscrew the live and neutral. Live is brown, blue is neutral. The neutral should be longer than the live, and if there's an earth, which there isn't on this one, you know, the earth would go to the top contact there, yellow and green typically. You want that one quite long, the earth. This one, as I say, fairly short. and this one the shortest. The idea being that if you pull it out, the live comes off first, followed by the neutral, and the very last thing to disconnect should be the earth. So your earth wants to be fairly long, but there isn't an earth in this one. Anyway, what we'll do, we'll just kind of stretch it over to about the right distance. So I'm going to chop off about that much there, I think, actually. Let's just see if anything needs to be done with the neutral. Let's see if I move this camera around a little bit. Yeah, so there's a few other things I'm going to show you today, by the way. It's not all going to be just this power supply. I've got a Spectrum Plus that I could recap. That shouldn't take long because I'll just literally fly through it. I'll just pull the caps off, stick the caps on, and we should be done. I reckon I could probably do the whole thing in about 20 minutes if I don't waffle too much. The other thing that's arrived today is an Atari Jaguar. Now, the downside is I don't have any carts. I don't have an RGB lead, which I think goes here, strangely enough, and I don't have a power supply either. So all I can do with this at this stage is take it to bits. So maybe we can have a look inside that, see what state it's in. I have ordered a 9 volts 1.5 amp power supply. I'll need to probably change the DC jack depending on what comes with the power supply I've ordered. We can obviously initially connect it up via RF there. These things won't do anything without a cart. It won't even power on, I don't think. What you've got to do is bridge a couple of pins. It's like pin 34B and 35B or something like that on there. You know, a normal cartridge will bridge those pins. A bit like the way the Atari Lynx works there. And if you do that, you'll get a red screen without a cart. Oh, so you've got a number of people joined there. I wasn't watching chat. So yeah, hello and welcome. File 1976, hello. Dermot Sweeney, hi Dermot. Dermot was the guy who bought me the Heiko here, the Heiko soldering iron. It's not plugged in at the moment. It will be soon though. Yeah, so Steve Lewis here. Jerry, very jealous, he says. They've not got a great library, have they? That's the thing. Well, I say that. There are some good games on this, you know, but lots of them are like Amiga ports and ST ports and things, aren't they? They didn't really utilise the system for, you know, what it was capable of. From what I understand, it was a little bit complex, and I think it wasn't really that complex. I think the issue was that the SDK wasn't very good, was it, from Atari, the software development kit, you know, and all the support documentation. There were some bugs. There was a bug, from what I've read, well, at least one bug, related to the memory management on it or something, you know, which meant, I think, that the TOM chip, which was a RISC chip, we'll talk about that when we go in there, is it can't run code from the main memory. Now, I think that might be a bit of a bold blanket statement there, because I read that earlier on the Wikipedia. You probably can run code from the main memory there, but what you probably, it's probably a bug, meaning that you've got to do it a certain way, or there's only a certain space that you can actually run code from. I don't know. Michael's Workshop, hi everyone. Is there an EverDrive for the Jag? There is one that I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with it. I don't know whether it was whether it's been finished, I think it's probably just due for release. I could be wrong. And that's the one that Retro HQ has been working on. You know, Saint over at Retro HQ. I'm just waiting for the iron here, by the way, because I'm just going to tin up that live connection. Just put that plug back together, and then we'll move on to something else. I've also got a pickup to show you here as well. From, well, not a pickup, a donation from Anthony at Riot Retro Gaming. Jag Game Drive. Yeah, the Game Drive, that's the one, isn't it? Is it actually out though? I don't know, I've not seen any reviews or anything like that. And Saint's gone a bit quiet the last week or so. I mean, there could be a few reasons for that, because I did also read the other day about there's a new flash card coming out for the Lynx, isn't there? By the same guy that did the other LCD screen. I'm useless at remembering names. I'm sure someone will post down below. Ben Venn, that's his name, Ben Venn. Yeah, he's doing a Lynx SD card. But then I was thinking, why? Why? It's like, you've already got one, it's not overpriced. Is it trying to compete on price? Is it going to be cheaper than the one that Retro HQ is doing? I don't know. It's just one of the, you know, competition's good. It really is, but I don't know. I don't know whether there's enough room in the market for two. I would assume, or would have expected, that most people would have already bought one of the ones from Saint. Maybe Saint can't keep up with demand, so maybe there is room for two. I honestly don't know. It just struck me though as one of those things, as to, you know, one of those points where you think, why? It would have been nice 2-3 years ago if there'd been two to choose from, because then, like I say, the supply and demand thing, you know, anyway. I can't really grumble, because I do like the links, so the more the merrier maybe. Yeah, so I'm just going to screw that on. You can't really see what I'm doing here. I just tinned up the end of the cable there just to make it... hang on, am I pushing it out here? Yeah, I am. The best way to do it actually is to pull the blooming fuse out. It's one of those ones where you can't get the darn fuse out the bottom bit. You know, it's like a solid piece of brass or whatever it is there. I'll catch up with the chat in a second. Let's just pull that out and stick that in there. It seems like everything I do on a stream turns into something long instead of, oh, it should be a 2-minute job. The problem with this actually is the cable relief is restricting me a little bit. Just make sure that's right in. And it's not. Oh, let's just take that one off there, take the neutral off. Yeah, normally you don't have a big plastic thing like this here getting in the way. So yeah, I'm blaming the plug actually for making this a bit awkward. Oh. Could perhaps do with a little bit more wire on that. Anyway, let's just get it in there. There we go. Slide it off the end of the screw head there. That's it, it's nice and tight. So I'll just crimp that back in there. Yeah, so the live is just a bit shorter, that's all I've done here. Not too fussed about the length of the neutral. I will just cut a bit of that off because that's crazy long. Oh, I don't want it in the plug. Has it gone now, that bit? Oh, what is going on here? I've pulled the earth out now, look, that's the wrong way around. Of all the things I could have decided to work on here, I did decide to pick a stupid plug. That's it. Strictly speaking, that neutral could be a bit shorter, you know, but it doesn't matter too much. The main thing is the length of the live one. I want live to disconnect first. That's it. Nice and tight. Get the fuse back in, get the lid back on. Yeah, this is one of these ones where you've got to pull the prong out a little bit to stick the fuse in there like that. Hang on, I can't get the blooming thing in there now. I much prefer more modern plugs. There we go. For sure. Anyway, those are the sort of things you need to do if you get one of these power supplies. Besides recapping it, check the fuse. So I'll put that out of the way. I'll order a cap up for that, and I'll revisit that at some other point. It's not going to take very long to do in another video, but we'll do it with a load of other stuff at the same time. Right, let me just bring over that Spectrum Plus. So the cap kit this time I got from somewhere else actually. The last one came from Mutant Caterpillar Games. I've still got the card here. So if you want cap kits, yeah, Mutant Caterpillar Games. But this one came from Retro Revival Shop.co.uk. So it looks very similar to the other one. They look like those Vichy caps again, don't they? And they're axial. Now, Jay's Vintage Junk actually helped me remember this, because I always used to get, well, hopefully I wouldn't do in future, but I used to get confused between axial and radial. I mean, right up to a few months ago, you could ask me, and I'd be like, oh, I can't remember what's axial and what's radial. But I just remembered something Jay said last night. I was thinking about this in bed last night, like you do, you know, thinking about capacitors. And I was thinking about these caps, and I thought, oh, I get it now. Jay was saying the easy way to remember these is if you think of an axle on a car that holds the wheels on. If you imagine, you know, the way they're coming out the sides there, if you imagined a wheel on that side and a wheel on that side. Axial, axle. That's the easy way to remember it. If you try and apply axle to one of the ones where the pin's like that, you can't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, think of axle. Think of an axle on the car. So thanks to Jay for that. It was only last night it kind of sunk in. He told it me, and I remembered what he'd said, and then a month later I was like, I still can't remember. Still can't remember what an axial cap is versus radial, which one's which. And it just came to me last night. Some things I'm really quick on, and other things like that, it's took me 40 odd years to remember it. Well, not quite that much, maybe 35 years. So this is the one, I've just disconnected the keyboard. This is the one with a really good membrane actually. No issues with that one at all. The ribbons are really super flexible, not brittle like that 48K one was. With this one, just move things around here a little bit. Yeah, with this one, it's the Samsung board. This is the one we fixed in the previous stream, I think. We put a new Z80 in there because it wasn't with either of the Div MMC type cards, you know, the Lothrak one or the Future was 8-bit one. So let's get the screws out. There's a couple of screws in the corners there. Let me just tilt you down a little bit so you can perhaps see some of what I'm doing here. Yeah, hopefully this won't take very long because there's not very many caps on them. What I'm not going to do is make the mistake I did last time and try and desolder them one by one. You're better off just heating them and pulling them out actually, and then unblock the holes with the soldering iron. You require less heat for less time that way. Now a sec. 82 watching. Wow, I'm humbled. Right, so Stephen, by the way, the reason this video has only just gone up in the last 10 minutes is I was waiting for Parcel Force. Parcel Force have just been and collected your A500 board, so it should be hopefully back with you either tomorrow or what day is it? Maybe Friday. I don't know whether they do Saturday deliveries. I did the 48-hour service, I think. What am I doing here? Right, so we'll start with this end here. It's very similar layout to the issue one, but there seem to be more of them up here. You know, you've got there on the issue one, and I think, yeah, two. You don't have two here on the issue, not issue one, issue two that I looked at last time. So we'll start with these. So we've got a 22. That one's a 22. So the other thing I'm just going to do quickly is just look to where the positives are. So you can see here, positive, and it's pointing this way towards the negative. That one's right. I'm just making sure that the silk screen is matching what the shows on the board. And again, we've got a positive marking down the silk screen in white, and the cap's going this way. So those two, I can just literally just quickly pull them off. Let me just turn the iron down a little bit. It's at 450 at the moment, which is way too high. I'm going to go with 400, which is still a bit high. But it'll be all right, because I'm going to be doing this for the shortest possible time. Stephen did a great video last night on you know, Terrible Fire on his channel there. Assembling TF, was it a 1260 or was it 360? I forget which one it was now. It was a 360, I think, wasn't it? The one for the CD32. Yeah, so we'll just flip it over. Add a little bit of solder as well, I think. Try and find where the cap is now. So it's got one point there. Yes, this was one of the boards that were manufactured by Samsung, I think. I might actually need to go higher on the temperature actually, because you can see here. Can you see here? All this green. That's the ground. That's one reason why you do need to sometimes go a bit higher on the caps. Yeah, the centre points of them here are here. A bit of solder onto that one, a bit onto that one, and a bit onto. Hang on. It's that one, isn't it? Should really be looking over the other side. Yeah, it is. There we go. Right, let's pull that one off. Or try to. I'm just not sure if we need more heat. Now it's coming out. It's one side out. The other side out. So it's two off. Well, one off. I'm ahead of myself. Two off. There we go. Super easy. Where have my caps gone now? I've lost the blooming things. Oh, they're over here. So those were both 22s. Well, we can measure them afterwards. It's only going to take a minute, isn't it? So I'm expecting loads of 22s here. You tend to find that most of the caps on these are 22. Yeah, these are Vichy ones again, just the same as the ones that I got from Mutant Caterpillar. They look the same. So you can see the arrow there pointing to the left. So that's exactly as that first one wants to go in, because the positive plus mark is on the right there. The only thing I usually have a problem with these is bending them just right. Some people might have different techniques to doing that. I kind of just go fine. Right, let's just unblock those holes. There's my little sucky solder thing. Mr. Sucky, here he is. Yeah, my review for this is it sucks and it's great. It sucks and it's great. It just reminded me, actually, I said that this morning on one of Dave Jones's videos. He was doing a review of a solder fume extractor. And I said, Dave, that's one of the few places where we'll see someone describing it as it sucks, but it's great. Look at that, solder removed, no problems. Thanks to Andrew, little boy, for that. I tell you, my channel's turned into one of those. This video is sponsored by. Yeah, this video is sponsored by Dermot Sweeney, Andrew Littleboy, Stephen Leary. But you'll be glad to know I've not sold out to one of the PCB manufacturers yet. You know, one of those PCB houses. They keep trying to get me on board, and you could argue I'm stupid for not signing up with, like, I don't know, JLC PCBs, whatever they are, or PCB way. But I'll be honest, it annoys me when I go to people's, you know, when I watch other videos and you get this video is sponsored by, and then you have to watch for like 2 minutes, especially when it's in the middle of a video. It drives me nuts. So that's one of the main reasons I haven't done it. I think it annoys people. I have enough problems annoying people myself without having advertising on there to annoy things even further, especially when I've already got advertising on my channel. I just think it's a step too far. Some of the terms and conditions for some of those things are a bit strict as well, let's say. So, for example, if you do lots of PCB stuff, many of them you have to sign a thing that says, no, I won't cover any of the PCB manufacturers on my channel, and if I do, I'll pay you back all of the advertising fees and things you've paid me, which is, yeah, it's a bit extreme, isn't it? I like to just cover different things. I'd hate to be to one PCB manufacturer, I think. So let's get the next one. Next one's again a 22. Yeah, what are your thoughts on those things? Smooth MJs, yeah, milk. Wix, yeah, so long as it's sponsored by Wix. God, that Wix advert drives me nuts. It's not so bad recently, but there was a time when every other blooming video I went to was that Wix advert at the beginning of it. Hang on, I'm trying to work out which way the band's going here. It's going to the right, isn't it? Yeah, away from the ground. So again, just get that in. I'll try and speed up a little bit here. I'm too much waffling. Too much waffling and not enough focus. Having said that, if you're doing one of these yourself, don't rush it. Take your time. Patience is the thing, really. You do damage when you start rushing things. Ow. Yeah, so I'm sad. I'm sad about my uncle Rodney. Really am. He might only have a week or so of life left, which is a massive shock. It's come as a massive shock to the family. So he'll be all right one day, and then suddenly coughing the next, and then the next minute, you know, they do an X-ray and go, "Oh, you've got stage 4 cancer." It's yeah, it's just the worst thing. I'm glad my mum and dad aren't ill though. That's the thing. When my mum was in tears, I was kind of expecting her to say my dad's got COVID or something. Doesn't really make anything any better. Right, let's do these ones next. So these both are 100, aren't they? Yeah, same as on the issue. Sorry, same as on the issue 2. Same place there. So again, I'm just checking. Yeah, I got a plus on that side there. It's going that way. And that one. Yeah, the plus is on the other side. Can you see it just down there near my nail? And it's pointing towards the left, I think. I can't really see it. Yeah, it is. So, same again. Solder on there. Find the blooming points. I think it's that one. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. And that one. I'm looking at the camera instead of looking at the board. And that one and that one. I think those are the ones. They're a bit fiddly to get to, these ones, when you try and pull them. Yeah, that side's coming straight out, look. Next one. Heat it up so it goes molten. Again, that one's off. There we go, that's that one. Block the holes. Yeah, I got fond memories from when my Uncle Rodney came to visit. Not met him many times in my life, but he's been over to the UK a few times. He's lived in Canada most of his life. From an adult, I think, at least. That one's not unblocking, is it? And he's done really well. I think he got like a master's degree in engineering, stuff to do with airplane stuff. He worked on, wing design and everything to do with planes. One of his hobbies was well, he's still here, but one of his hobbies is microlight gliding. Back then, when I was younger, it was perhaps a different, might be slightly different than it is these days as a hobby. The way it used to be, you used to get like, you design a glider, and all the aerodynamics and stuff that goes into something like that, and then they had some sort of mechanism for the rotor. It was like a spring, whether it was a spring round thing or a belt thing or whatever. But they used to wind it up, and you had to calculate the number of turns, and calculate, using all the aerodynamic formulas and stuff, the exact angle on the wings and on the flaps and all that. And then they go on these massive, massive aircraft hangars in Canada, and they did this worldwide as well, because he went to worldwide championships, and you would launch it, and it would be like within half a foot, maybe even a few inches of the edges of the hangar, and it would circle really slowly, the whole space of the hangar, and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb till it gets right to the very top, till the winding starts to slow. Just before it hits the roof, it then starts to gradually glide down, and they would have competitions, world championships in micro light gliding like that, to see, who could fly the longest and not crash into the sides of the thing. And he did really well. I think he won a number of times, and I think, I could be wrong, I think he was a professor at university there in Canada as well. I think he's taught at universities. He worked for like British Aerospace, I think, in the UK at some point, and he's worked for the aerospace stuff out in Canada. I'm honestly not sure some of the things he's done in his career, but he's done really well. He's one of these people that's done really well. As my mum said, though, or my dad said, he's got to a good age. That's one way you've got to kind of, it doesn't justify anything, doesn't make anything better. I think he's in his 80s, 80 something, 88, I think my mum said, which is a good innings, but still, the whole thing has just come as a massive shock, and it's just, I don't know. It's like my mum said, she imagined he would go falling off a ladder or going out for a walk with the dog and slipping and knocking himself on the head and going out that way. You don't expect something like this. There was quite a large blob of solder there. Can you see that on that side already? That sort of thing you've got to inspect though, just in case it's start to bridge anything. These ones, it's not so bad. That board you saw me recap before, it didn't have a green solder mask like this. All these traces here were all bare. So if you were to drop a particle of solder on this side, that's where you can easily short something out. Anyway, I'll try and pick up the speed a little bit here. Let's get the next one. Let's just double check it's a 100. Yeah, it's a 100. Let's kind of bend it by eye. So, where's the positive on that one? Yeah, it's going the opposite way, isn't it? Can't see the blooming arrow now. Yeah, the arrow's has to go to the left there because the positive's on the right. Yeah, so like in terms of fond memories of my uncle, he's a really tall guy. I was telling my wife before, he's like 7 foot. I think he might be more than 7 foot. He's super tall. He's the tallest person I've ever met. He has to bend down. I remember when he came, when we went to see the place he was staying at, it was some flat somewhere in St Anne's at the time, and every door he went through he had to bend by about half a foot or a foot to avoid hitting the door, and it was the same when he came to our house to visit. I've never ever seen anyone so tall. But I got fond memories because he came around actually, and he spent some real quality time with me, a few hours playing on my Spectrum with me when I was a kid. And then later, when I was a teenager, he came the second time. It was around the time I had a Sega Mega Drive, and he played Sonic with me. We started playing Sonic for a few hours. I think he played Gauntlet at a point with any person, but what I can remember is playing Gauntlet with my from Canada, which is a really weird memory. And I watched Back to the Future with him as well. I think there was a time when he came to visit him. I think my mum and dad were away or something at that point, and I just vaguely remember it. And he came round and watched Back to the Future 3 with me. He'd seen the second one, he hadn't seen the third one because it was fairly recent. Well, I'll say fairly recent. It came out in Canada probably before the UK. But yeah, he hadn't seen it, so he sat and watched Back to the Future 3, and he really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it. And every time I watch Back to the Future now, I remember that. Stephen Levy, terrible. My father and father-in-law were diagnosed with lung cancer within a week. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Jim is gone. This is the thing, you know, it's like, it's come from nowhere. It's like, say 1 minute he's all right, next minute he's got a cough, he has an x-ray, stage 4 lung cancer. It's like, what? Life is too short. Life is too short. Right, so that's those two done. Let's do we need to get anything from under there? No, we don't. There's none under there. So all we've got left is this one, and then these ones here. So let's deal with that one there. I think you can see I put some heat sinks on the ULA there. If you try and fit those size of heat sinks on a normal 48K rubber keyed one, it won't fit. You need to get a lower profile heat sink. And I know some people don't necessarily agree with heat sinks, but you know what? The ULAs and these get super hot. You could boil an egg on them. So yeah, I would definitely get a heat sink on one of these. Yeah, it's not going to be easy to get that one out. I'm trying to just lever it a little bit if I can, but trying to hold it there and get the leverage is not easy. There we go, it's come out, I think. Yeah, there we go. See, inside out. No, I just realised I didn't look at the positive, negative markings on that, so let's just check it. Yeah, positives on the left and positives on the left, so that's okay. Just unblock it. Yeah, Stephen copied me, as I mentioned, a stream or so back. He's got the same one of these engineer ones that Andrew Littleboy got me. They're really good. I think Stephen's enjoying using it as much as I am. I didn't see what size that was. Is it another 22? I'm guessing it is. Yeah, 22. There are some ones. We've done the 100s, and I think there's a 1 or something somewhere on these. Or there might be 2 ones. Sorry, I'm useless at keeping up with chat, guys. I keep forgetting to watch the chat again. I'm just going to pop it out, because if I pop it out, I can see more of it. Sorry to hear about that floating fat man. I really am. It's depressing, isn't it? It's more than depressing. Anyway, we've got to, I don't know, we've got to try and think about more positive things. The problem I've got at the moment is, like I say, I don't know about you, but I'm getting depressed with everything that's going on with lockdown. I want to be able to go out again. Not that I'm a go-outy sort of person. I want the world to return to normal. I want to be able to start working again. I want to be able to, people to travel again. I want my wife to be able to travel. I want to be able to travel because we're supposed to be going on holiday at some point this year. None of that's going to happen, is it? But more importantly, I want people to stop dying. I want COVID to just go away. Just hold that from the other side just to make sure it's fairly flat. Ow, 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 ow. Let's just check that. Yeah, that's looking okay. Snip. Snip. Just Just inspecting that to make sure I've got a short. No, I don't. So yeah, we're getting there. So we've got these ones here now, and those two. This one could be a problem. It's got the reset wire over it, isn't it? I'll have to disconnect the wire probably. So let's do that one next. Let's desolder the wire. I'm guessing it's top soldered. Is it wrapped around it? It's wrapped around it. Look, the cap's coming in with the wire. Got to be careful, obviously, don't melt my wire underneath this. We kind of lift it off a little bit. Let's just try and pull it off the top side if it'll come. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if they wrapped the wire around the legs there. It looks like they did. I thought it was just maybe soldered flat on top, but it's not. Just checking that one again. Yeah, so it's the right way with respect to the silk screen. See if I can just slide that off or something. Yeah, there we go. Might be easy to just cut it off and... Anyway, it's alright. It's off there now. So that one is a 50 volts 1 microfarad. That's one of the 1 microfarad ones on the reset. Trying to find the ones. Smooth MJ, I'm hoping for our new Like This Year cinema survives this mess. Ah, okay. That places my releases really. Release really, okay, right, sorry, I can't read. Yeah, I got what you mean. Trying to find these caps, hang on. Yeah, that one's a 1, these are 1s. Seem to have 3 1s here. I got the feeling I'll have a cap left over here because this kit, I think that's one of the things it says actually. I think it says you may have a cap or 2 left over depending on what revision you got. So positive is up the top side of the board, which means it wants to go that way. Oh, I haven't unblocked it yet. I'm getting myself. Can't see the solder points now, where is it? Here. Oh, hang on. This is the problem when you desolder it from the wrong side. Because I desoldered it from the other side. The solder points haven't been touched on this side, have they? Oh no, which one is it? Tell you what, let's be daring. Let's do it from this side. This is where you, if you've got the one without the solder mask, this is where you can get bits of solder on. Cross tracers. Need to add a bit of solder to that. Yeah, there we go. Right. Positive, that side. There we go. So that's that. Let's solder the wire back on, don't we? Just thinking about the length of this. Yeah, it should be alright. What we could do is literally just pull a tiny bit more of the skin off here. Like that. Probably going to pull off more than I need here. Yeah, like that. And then we can kind of wrap them around. Hang on. My little thing's gone. Of course, it doesn't matter which way you get these round, it's just a switch. That cap is doing the reset. So it charges up, and when it's... what we're doing with the switch is just discharging it. If you discharge it, then it's going to take a short period of time to charge up again. Hence, you're getting the reset. So I'll just pull that one over there a little bit. So all I've done there is just fold it up, you know, like a hook, like that, and pull it up over the cap, just so that we set this now with a bit of solder. It should hold on there a little bit better than if it was just a single strand. Hang on, just try and slide it back that way a bit. That looks right nice. That should do. Yeah, that should do. I'm trying not to go too low down, just in case, you know, makes contact with something underneath or something, like a trace or something. Yeah, there we go. Same on the other side. Make sure I don't melt that plastic connector there. Stephen built a Spectrum actually recently on his stream, on his channel, didn't he? His series of streams. I think he said he was going to upload it once he's edited it, put it together as one video edited down. That's it. That's the recent way back on, so let's get rid of that one. Let's catch up with chat. Big Ted, afternoon folks. Wow, so many comments. Larry Williams, I'm stuck in Spain and rely on the expat community. Oh, okay. Mr. Walkman, I see you again. Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything specific there. If you've got anything you didn't want to ask me or anything, just message directly with @GadgetUK164. So let's get that other one off down there, onto the home stretch, I think, where I'll just literally pull them all out at once. So this one again is 22, and its positive, negative markings are correct again. Just unblock the holes before I forget. One. You can see a little plug there. That's it. So let's find another 22. Where's the 22? That's one. Is that one a 22? That's a 4.7. Some of these must be 22s. Let's look at that one. Yeah, that's a 22. So again, just bend it approximate. Not where it was now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, couldn't see where I'd removed it from for a minute. So must have go that way, doesn't it? Might have a look in a 500 in a minute as well. We've got a 500 here. I need to just work out what state that's in. I did work on it previously. The keyboard I was doing some fixes to, because it's one of those where it's going to need some traces fixing on the membrane. Some people will tell you, I've seen a few videos where they go, no, don't try and fix them with conductive ink, it doesn't work. You know, there's one guy I was watching who's adamant the fact it does not work and it's not reliable, and they totally disagree. I think it depends on how you do it, depends on how the repair is done, depends on what you use to repair it. Because the keyboards I have fixed with conductive ink, they're all absolutely rock solid, and I've used them a lot. The Atari 65 XE has been used a lot off camera, and the keyboard's perfect on it. And it's the same thing with the 500 I did on my channel. I've used that keyboard as my main test keyboard down there, over there, and I've used it a lot. No problems whatsoever. But we need to do a similar thing with that at some point. But also I'll show you the cases in the state. And the guy that does custom case work there, I forget his name now, he's joined a few of my streams, and he said to me on one of them, actually, send me that Amiga, and I'll show you which one he's talking about. It's that Danish one. Maybe Swedish, I don't know, but I think a Danish chap has sent it to me. It came from Stefan Skotte. Scott, is it? S-K-O-T-T-E. My pronunciation's awful. Yeah, so he sent me it. I'll show you in a minute. And I think I'm going to get the case customised, because it is in a bit of a sad, sorry state. And maybe go with a Danish theme or something. I don't know, because it's got a Scandinavian keyboard, as you'll see. Right, let's get these last ones out. I'll just check them first. So that one there, It's got its positive to left, that's correct. That one there. Again, positive to the left, that's correct. Positive to the right on that one. Positive to the left again. Positive to the left. So they're all correct in terms of their orientation. There's no issues like you get, or problems like you get on an issue 2, where one of the caps near the connector here, its marking on the board differs for the way it's actually fitted. And you can, one way you can prove that, I didn't ever show you because I sort of rushed through that recap myself, camera the other one. Measure on your multimeter across the cap while the cap's in place, volts DC. And if you get a positive reading, you know that the side you've got the red probe on is the positive of the cap. Does that make sense? Because that's what you want to do. You want to make sure it's biased the right way, that you've got a positive voltage on the positive side of it and lower voltage on the negative side of it. So that's one way you can double check one of those issue 2 boards there before you, in case you forget exactly what's with the cap, if you remove it and you're not sure. Just going to look at the size of these. So you've got a 4.7, a 1. What's that one there? I can't see it. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do them one at a time because they're all different sizes. So that bottom one's 4.7. Let's get that off. I can't get my hand under there. Let's just prise it a little like that. It's kind of off, but not. Oh my goodness, that one's really hanging on there. There we go. Right, let's get it to the side off. I think it's that one. Yeah, there we go. So that was a 4.7. Yeah, I was thinking about, someone just mentioned the Dreamcast there. I was thinking about doing the Dreamcast on mine. You've got Dreamcast BIOS soldering is fun. That's exactly one of the mods I was going to do to mine, actually. I was going to swap out the BIOS for a region-free BIOS. And I think it's got the American swirly thing on the front. It's like red instead of blue or something. It really is just purely cosmetic. But the main thing is it'll be region-free. So I might do that at some point, maybe on a stream, I'm not sure. What I'm trying to do at the moment, though, is work my way through the stuff in here. Things I want to get out of the way. So let's get that one on. I've got an Atari ST to look at here, so we might look at that in one of the next few streams. And that C64 as well. And I've got some stuff to do with the C64, like some flashcards and things. I think Dermot O'Leary, not Dermot Leary, I'm mixing two people up here, Dermot Sweeney, sent me a flash card, I think. Not really a flash card, it's a PCB, for sticking a ROM on. Did you send me one, Dermot? Are you still there? I'm sure you did. Yeah, it's not unblocked that side there. It looks like it is, but it's not. Let me just hold up some light. It's one of those optical illusion things. Let me just get the braid onto it. There is, if you hold the board up to the light, I can see a hole through. But it just looks like on one side it's a little bit, bit of solder there, just on this side here. Let's try that. Do you know, my eyesight's got shocking in the last few years. I was used to have like 20/20 vision, and for the last few years now I struggle to see things up close. Spent too much time looking for a magnifying glass, I think. I think that's what it is. It's all in bloody Neo Geos. It all started after Mike Pearman's, actually. Someone posted a comment on one of them and it made me go back and watch a little bit of one of those, and I'll tell you what, I didn't half ramble on some of those Neo Geo videos, saying the same things multiple times, and like, oh my god, why didn't I edit that out? They're painful to watch, actually. I'm sure I'll be saying that about this video next week. Snip that off. The last ones on here might be a bit quicker because I think those are there are all 22s. I'm not sure about that one. Is that a 1? That one there's a 1. I'm not sure about that third one. Let's see, I can just bend it a bit. Can't see it. Yeah, I think it's a 1. So I think we've got 2 1s coming up. Yeah, well, let's pull them off. Let's do that first one. Again, I'm going to need something to grab it with, I think. I'm trying to get pliers and some. Must be that solder point there. Yeah, it's one side out. Got a bit of solder on the board there. And the other side is there, I think. Is it? Yeah. Let's do the other one as well, because I believe this one's a 1. Oh. It's one side out. It smells a bit electrolyty, that one, actually. Let me just add a bit of fresh solder to that, because it's one of those where you touch it and nothing happens. You may as well be touching concrete. There we go. That's it. Is that a 1? Yeah, that's a 1. They're both 1s, those. Need to add some solder on that side. Yeah, if you've got the temperature high, whatever you do, don't heat for too long, because the pads on these Spectrums salt big time if you heat them too long with too much temperature. Need some solder on that one again. That's it. Steve Ellis is getting old. Yeah, I'm getting old. Larry Williams, right down the road, Country Mile at Hayberts. Happy that folks like you and Gadget UK who let me enjoy vintage hardware and Vice and Virtual K Pro. I'll let you play. Thank you very much. Right, so we've got 2 1s. Let me see if I can find my 1s now. I've got 2 here. Are those the 2 1s? Let me have a look. Yeah, that's a 1. And that's a 1, I think. Yeah. Yeah, they're really weird the way they label these up. Instead of 1UF, it says 1U0. Or 1U with a small O. So it's like, I don't know. Just catches the eye a funny way. I'm looking for the F. There isn't one. They thought F wasn't important, clearly. Right, which way's positive? So positives. Yeah, that way. So I'll do that one. Should have my fume extractor on, shouldn't I? I missed an opportunity here. To be fair, the place that I use that I need that really is when I'm doing stuff with a chip quick, you know, any surface mount stuff. The flux from this tends to not bother me, and it's such a small amount. That's Switch that off, because you probably won't be able to hear me over it, that's the problem. I need a fan controller, that's what I need next. PWM, so I can slow it down. Yeah, I got a little particle of solder or something there, didn't I, when I touched it before they got to come off. Look, that's the sort of thing you've got to inspect for afterwards. You know, as well as cleaning up the points on these, inspect the PCB really closely. What it'll take is one tiny little bit of solder there, and before you know it, something will be on fire. Or just not working, one of the two. So, positive of this one is on the left hand side. We're getting there, just 2 more to go. And the remaining 2 are both 22s, you can see that. Ow, wow, 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 wow. That's it. So, final 2 here. I can't work out which way to put my hands on that. I need to... So let's just bend these up a little bit out of the way. Yes, I'll hold it like that. No, that's the one I've just soldered. It's this one here, isn't it? Oh. There we go, that's one out. We'll do the next one as well. One there. That's it. Again, that one smelt a bit funny, actually. It might not be electrolyte I can smell, it could just be the old crusty flux. That's one. That's 2. Let's unblock the holes. Oh. There we go. I've got those little plugs there, look. I'm getting used to those plugs though, I quite like them actually. Because what it means is that the inner chamber there is not going to be full of solder when you've got that little plug. It means it's just the end bit. That one is not unblocking. That's it. And these 2 over here, isn't it? One. Almost. Hang on, we got a little sneaky plug again. Oh, it's because I'm not at the right angle here. I'm not getting it flat, am I? I'm pushing it at a weird angle. Try that again. There we go. So 2 22s and we're done. So I think I've got 22s here, yeah. Socket is pure magic. Yeah, it's good. It's like I say, it sucks, and it's great. Right. I hope it works after this. Technically, I should have been wearing an ESD wrist strap, so after all of this wonderful work with the capacitors here, you know, now I could have killed it. I don't believe in ESD. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing. It does exist, trust me. It exists more for some people than others, though. Let's say. Depends on what you wear, and depends on the room you're in. Depends on all sorts of things. Wow, that side's absorbing loads of heat. I think it's one of the main power rails, that, actually. That's why I was having trouble unblocking the holes on the other side there a minute ago. Quite large solder points on that one. Just flip it over. Yeah, that looks alright, so just the one next to it. Let's get that last one. So the positive is on the left there, and our cap is pointing the wrong way around there, as you can see, so let's just flip it that way. Yeah, so the arrows are pointing towards the negative side. That's it, let's flip it over, bend the legs out a bit again. I don't go crazy with that when I bend them over, it's just a little bit just to hold it. And then I always just generally press it upwards a bit anyway, just to make sure it's seated. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, this one I'm going to keep in my collection, this Plus. It was one that was donated by my friend Dr. Andrew. The rubber key one I'll probably sell soon, I think. Yeah, so I'll put those caps back down there. Just clean up the cotton bud and we'll go test it. Then it was a open 64 cart, 16K. Thank you, Dermot. I thought it was you. Let me just see if I've got it. I've got it here somewhere to hand. I'll show you. I've got a few things here. So these might be an overhang from a previous video I did. I think they are. I just can't remember whether I showed that. I've got one of these ones from Biwack here, a Versa cart. Yeah, that's the one I showed previously on my channel. Simple 64 cart from Mindflare Retro. But he sent me this one as well. I don't think I covered this one. Vic 20 8K ROM cartridge there. I think Mindflare Retro sent me that. Let me see this. And I think this came from you, didn't it, Dermot? Is this the one you sent me? Let's just have a look at the PCB to see if there's anything on it. So I'll probably wrap these up into one video. I'll just get the C64 out and the Vic out and we'll have a look at these. Yeah, so it's got a reset button on it. Hang on, something there. Look. GitHub, open C64C cart. Yeah, 16K, there you go. That's the one. Thank you, Dermot. Yeah, much appreciated. I just haven't had the chance to show it and stuff. I'm sure I've covered it in one of the videos I haven't uploaded yet. That Matrox Millennium graphics card you sent me for PC, but I just, like I say, I haven't got a chance to upload in that video, that's all. But I will do at some point soon. So we'll just clean this up, we'll test this. Then we'll have a look at the Jaguar. We'll whip the lid off, have a look what state it's in inside. Can't do anything with it, because I haven't got, like I say, power yet. We connect it to the bench power supply, but we haven't got a cart. That's the thing, I haven't got a cart for it. I haven't got an RGB lead. I haven't got much, have I? We'll have to imagine. I'll plug it all in and we'll imagine it's working. Use your imagination. I have ordered a cart PCB for it though. It's like a DIY one. I mean, it's one of those that's it's a benefit to me because I've got someone send me the PCB. I can stick an EEPROM on it, but at the same time, it's a bit of a tragedy in the sense that it looks like someone's destroyed. Sorry, you can't see from my hand there, can you? Destroyed an original Jaguar cart in order to sell the PCB for whatever reason. I don't know, because it doesn't look like a third-party one. It looks like an original one. It says Atari on it. Which is, yeah, I never like to see things like that. I prefer people manufacture their own PCBs rather than destroying existing games. And the thing is with the Jaguar, the games aren't cheap, are they? They're not cheap at all. I can't even imagine why you would destroy even the cheapest of the cheap games on the Jaguar are like 30 or 40 quid each. the Synergy 1987 short transistor with probes whilst probing. Yep, that's dead near. Yeah, I've done that. It's easily done, isn't it? Try and take a measurement on something. Sometimes you can just about get away with it. I know it's not very exciting watching me do this, but I want to do this because then I'll get it back in the case. I'm not going to go back in there again afterwards. So I'd rather do this. Then I'm not putting the ribbons under more stress, am I, as I keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. Making sure I don't get carried away cleaning things I don't need to clean. I'm just focused on what I need to do here. The board is very clean actually, it's good as new. Well, it was before I got to it. Now it's good as almost new, with good caps. On the subject of caps, you know, I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, some people go, well, you know, it's a precaution measure. I'm swapping out the caps as a precaution. Because you never know, those SMD caps that are on there that look perfect, that aren't leaky, that all measure right, they may leak at some point in the future. So I'm going to put some other ones on it. The thing is how do you know that the caps you are putting on are going to last any period of time? For all you know, you could put in Panasonic ones on, and you know what, 2 years from then, those caps could leak. Could be a bad manufacturing batch at the moment, or the formula might not be right or something. And it's unlikely. I think you'd probably find that they'll be fine. I'm just throwing this one out there just for people to think about. It's food for thought, isn't it? You can change perfectly good looking working caps and find the ones you put on there will last a few years. Maybe they'll last 3 years. But if you'd left the ones on there, you know, not talking about SMD ones here, just caps in general. If you left the ones that are on there, they might never leak. I mean, it's not likely. It is generally a good idea to change them. It's just the way my mind works. Yeah, they're looking alright, so it's just the ones up here, I think. The first ones we started on. That's it, final point down here. What's amazing about these, and I don't know if you've ever seen them or these up close yourself, the solder mask here, you've got like a layer of solder underneath it. See, it's all bubbly. It's like a big ripple there. I've had people contact me in the past going, here's a photo of my board, it looks super corroded, what am I going to do? And I'm like, no, it's not corroded at all. That's literally just the way that these were manufactured. You know, they coated the board with like a layer of solder, and was it wave coated or something, and then as it's cool it ripples like that, and then they put a solder mask on it. So yeah, that's normal. They all look like that generally. So just have a quick inspection, make sure nothing crazy going on, especially in relation to the reset thing right here. Particles of solder and things like that. Some of these caps are really bent at crazy angles, aren't they, as well? Look at that one there. And that one. Bent right over, and that one. And squished down, haven't they? Anyway, that should be fine. So I think before I screw it in there completely, we'll just put it back in here. That needs cleaning, actually. So I'm going to be back this, regardless of what I said to clean that. Let's just put it in place here. Yeah, my reset still reaches, thank goodness. So I'll wheel you over the other side of the room. Hang on, who said kill me? Hello. Hello? Right, hang on a minute, he's going. Yeah, anyone who says things like that on this channel, don't expect to not be banned. So I'll bring over the Futures 8-bit cart, which works super well. Switch the TV on. Oh, hang on, we need that power supply now, don't we? The one that I've, hang on, what have I done with it? I need to make sure I don't electrocute myself with the blown thing now and plug it in. Yeah, I've foiled my own plans here, haven't I? Because I need this thing to power it. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, so all I need to do is just make sure I can just get the lid on this and it's safe. Well, those screws in there, for example, wouldn't be a good idea to leave in there. Yeah, that'll be alright like that, just while I'm doing this. I've got the lid the wrong way around. No, I haven't, I've got it the right way around, I've got the wire trapped here. It's annoying I didn't have one of those caps because, yeah, I could have done it all today anyway. So I'm just carefully plug it in. Wires are wrapped around each other again. Yeah, if you're going to test a power supply yourself, make sure it's screwed together. Don't do as I do. And the composite bead gone. How was that? So, looking at this composite up. I'll try it without the Future was 8-bit cart first of all. I don't want to fry that if something does go wrong. And I'll point you at the TV. Sorry, we're at crazy vision again, aren't we? There we are. Switch it onto side, which is composite. Connect the power. Yay, it's working. So, I need to bring over the keyboard. We'll plug in the Future was 8-bit cart first, so let's get that in there. That's it. Get power again. Oh, hang on a minute. That's where this is playing up again. It is, isn't it? It's playing up again, that card. Let's try and plug it in again. Come on. Right, so it's plugged in the SD zone. There we go. Just a bit dirty, I think, the connection on that, that's all. If I press the button, yeah, there we go, got the menu up. So, when it connects the keyboard up, I'll just make sure it's working properly. I've lost my keyboard now. Yeah, you tend to find these ones with the later board revision seem to go hand, well, it might because it's a plus, they go hand in hand with the ones with the keyboard membrane that's more flexible. Maybe Samsung manufactured the ribbons, you know, the flexible ribbon thing as well, I don't know. I think some of these pluses came as a kit, you know, your upgrade kit. And then others of them, you could just, you know, it was actually a kit where you took the rubber key spectrum, you took the board out, you added the reset wire, and you did it yourself. So that's a load of game. Yeah, keyboard's working, I think. Games. Let's see if I can find Pizzed or Pissed, as it's called. Pissed. Yeah, I'm not swearing here. Yeah, I forget you can press right, can't you, to shoot down a page at a time. That's what I should be doing. P R. A. Am I missing things? What happens to S on it? It's there on its own, look. Tap file. Now, I forget what you do with tap files. How they just load instantly. Is that the right game? What on earth is that? Sliders release. Oh, this is sort of a crack-tro thing, isn't it? An intro thing, like on the beginning. Space. 0-star game. That's awfully quiet, but that's what you get when you've got the built-in speaker. Kempson joystick, let's go with 4. And if I unplug the joystick from the Amiga and plug it into the port on the back of the Future 8-bit card, hopefully my stick should work. Let's do 5. Let's see if I can spray the bugs. Yeah, there we go. I've got how you do this now. I think you use the... Oh, you use this... I don't know. Don't know what you do. I thought you had to use the right spray, the right colour to kill the right bugs. So if you use the pink, blue spray like we've got now, the light blue one, the cyan one, then you can kill the cyan ones, but you can't kill the green ones or something. That doesn't seem to be the case, because it seems to be able to kill anything. And I thought there was something you had to do to water this or something down here. I don't know. My memory's failing me when it comes to this game. There's a fly spotter there. Oh, we can't collect that. You've got to drop that there. No, hang on. Yeah, you see that one won't kill those, look, the yellow one. But the blue one will kill the green ones or the blue ones. And there's some fertiliser or something there, look, let's grab that, hang on. Get rid of these things first. Why is it not working? You can just hold the fire button down at notice. You don't need to keep hammering it like I'm doing, like a mad person. Yeah, anyway, I'm sure you get bored watching that. The main thing is it's working. I'm happy because I wanted a plus for a while. Which seems a bit silly because the 48K one, which I've already got a copy of, you know, a version of, it's the same thing really. I just wanted the plastic keyboard there, so yeah, anyway, that's that. So let's just get the power. I won't screw it together because I'm going to clean up, as I say, inside there later. We can have a look inside that Jaguar, I think, and then we'll have a quick look at that Amiga and then I'll get off. Let's just disconnect this and put this out of the way. So yeah, that's working fine now. No problems at all since we did that small, tiny little repair to it there. I might get a review up on that in the next week. I don't know. There's a proper standalone video. So let me move that out of the way. I'll take you back over there and we'll have a look inside that Jaguar. I don't know what I'm expecting to find inside there, but it'll just be interesting to see what it's like, I guess. Just get rid of all this junk off here. I guess it's worth just having a quick read of those caps as well. There's not many, is there? I'll throw the SL meter out and just have a read of these. Just see if any of them are crazy values, but it's unlikely. Don't want to lose those screws. Let's just get rid of all these off here. Sorry, I'm making stomach noises here. My digestive system is reminding me I haven't eaten enough today. Yeah, let's just pull that out. Here it is. Yeah, that was a 22. These are better than the other board. That's a 22 and it's shown as a 22. So maybe the Samsung boards have better caps. Bear in mind that last board we looked at was an issue 2, wasn't it? It was an early one. Yeah, that one's 100, so it's a bit over 110. That's another 22, not far off. That one's another 22, again, not far off. Same on the ESRs. The ESRs are very similar to what we saw on the other one, and each other. That was a 4.7, again, not bad. Oh, it's got one of these slidey sort of crocodile things there, it slides around. That's a 22, again, not bad. I think that's 100, isn't it? Yeah, 100 again. It's like that last one. That last one was 110, wasn't it? But the older ones, they use like plus minus 50% tolerance. These ones are probably like 10% or 20% or something, I think. 22 again. Not bad. There's only a few left now. May as well do them for the time it takes. That one's a 1. It's alright. That one's a 1. Again, it's alright. Last 2 here. That's a 1. Yeah, there were 3 1s on there. Guessing this is a 22. Yep, and the S has good as well. So there you go. We've just replaced all those caps and we didn't actually need to do it. But it's a preventative maintenance thing. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have been happy if I'd not swapped those out myself, knowing how generally unreliable the caps are on some spectrums. But I think those Samsung ones, perhaps, it's maybe not even worth bothering with them, swapping them. I think they're going to be alright. Unless it's have tons and tons of use, you know, that's the thing. And as a side note, actually, sometimes the lack of use can be the thing that kills caps. I read something about that a number of years ago, and I've seen examples of that. Sometimes caps start to leak and become a problem just by virtue of the fact that they've not been used. The system hasn't been used. I'm not sure what happens. It's some sort of chemical reaction as it sits there, you know, for long periods of time without any use, without any charge, you know, as they discharge. Someone might be able to expand on that. But yeah, I mean, it's different ways of looking at it, isn't there? Just get the chap again. We'll just look at this Jaguar. Let me get rid of all these now. There we go. I wouldn't reuse them, I'll bin them. The silly thing is they're all alright, but yeah, I wouldn't want to put them onto something else, because you never know, it might last a week or a month or something and then we fail. Could just do with something soft to put this on, actually. Let me do it on here, if those 2 screws out of the way. Just because I'm going to be lobbing it upside down like this. So, yeah, the first observation is that something's happened to the foot there, look. It's got pressed down. But they're a bit like the feet you get on other systems where, you know, it's like a soft plasticky rubber, isn't it? And over time they can squish down and get knocked off and stuff. I'm zooming you out a little bit because you seem to be zoomed in. So this is my first time going in one of these. Got no idea what I'm doing here. Look at that screw, looks alright. They're supposed to be black. It's got a kind of a bronzy appearance to the surface of that one. Like a bit of rust, maybe a bit of moisture at some point. I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward to doing, and that's building that DIY cart that I've ordered. Just because I was looking at how you write the ROMs on the Jaguar, and there is nothing straightforward about it at all. If you watch Wouter on you know, his channel, The Highlander, he recently talked about the complications of doing, you know, putting an EEPROM on a Mega Drive cart recently, and the problems he had. And actually, it's quite straightforward, but you know what? If you're new to it, yeah, it can be a bit confusing. Things like Indian confusing, you're having to do the byte swap and all that. But on this, it's a whole other level of pain, because Atari did what they did with the Lynx, which is to encrypt the contents of, well, some of the contents of the cart. I think all the contents of the cart, actually, but then sort of, you know, hash it, use a hash and sign it. So, you know, the manufacturers couldn't just produce their own games without going through the proper licensing routes. I'm really not sure how this separates it. Something's happened at the front here, let me just show you that. Can you see it's had an impact or something here previously? A little chip on it. I hope there's no screws under these feet. I don't think there is. It wouldn't make any sense. I think this literally should just somehow come up. There's no screws anywhere else. Someone said it reminds me of the dentist. Yeah, that's a good point, because you'll have seen it mentioned on lots of other videos, I'm sure, but when Atari went bust, or before they went bust, and started selling all their assets and stuff, they sold the case design for this mould like this, and it wasn't uncommon that if you went to certain dentists in the United States, you would see a unit on the wall looking like that on the wall, obviously without the Jaguar thing there, but that shape, exactly that shape, in white. Yeah, so it was sold to some sort of dental manufacturing company, I think, and they used it for some sort of dental equipment, which is bizarre, isn't it? Can you imagine Nintendo selling the NES, toaster design there to a dentist and having a NES on a wall somewhere, dentist lifting the flap and getting his tools out of it or something. It's really bizarre. So, yeah, in Atari fashion, they've got huge, insane amounts of shielding look. And this is what I hate about Atari products. The one thing I hate about Atari products is the way that the shield is assembled. You always get these blooming annoying clips here where you've got to lift it with something. You've got to kind of bend it up like that, look, and straighten it out. I hate them. The big problem with them as well is, obviously, the more times you go in there, they start to break off. You almost want to go in there one time to do all your stuff before you reassemble it. Don't be in a rush to put the shielding back on. To be fair, most people probably wouldn't even put the shielding back on. And it might be an idea to extend its life, actually. Something like this. And they're all down as well, just like you get on an ST or an Atari XE. You've got to twist these like that. Try and straighten them up. What were they thinking when they did this? I mean, it saves them some screws, doesn't it? That's what it does. It saves the cost of what? 4 screws, because that's all you need, 4 screws to hold a piece of shielding on. Some bright spark decided it was worth it. Bend these over for the sake of, I don't know, 10 cents or something. Oh my goodness, not many of them. I'm definitely the first person to have gone in this though, that's for sure. Because there's no signs of these being bent ever. Oh, they're all along the back as well, look. I feel bad about going inside this now, but we don't know whether it works anyway. I might have to do a repair to this yet. Because looks can be deceiving. It looks in good condition. Yeah, I'm not convinced these are all bent over as much as should be. Right, let's try and lift it up, see if I can cut myself in the process. Because that's the other thing that happens with these is you catch yourself on all the sharp edges and things, and the next thing you know, you're running for a bandage or something. I'm not sure how it's mounted on the front end here, is it? It doesn't go under the thing, does it? It's not one of these where I've got to pull the board out first. I might have to undo those 2 screws there and the screws holding the board, and I think, but let's do that anyway, because I think that's how it's done. It looks like the shielding maybe wraps around the control ports there, maybe, and all that's going to happen on the force is bending it, break something maybe. I'm pleased to get this, and I've been looking at Jaguars for years now, and the thing keeps putting me off is the price. They're so blooming expensive, but I didn't do too bad on this one, and I already had a controller, well, not a controller, somewhere up there in a box that again may or may not work, that I've had for 2 years now, I think, maybe 3 years. Yeah, so they're expensive. There's not a massive amount of games. I think there was something like, officially, 50 commercial release games, but there was, there's bits of homebrew and stuff like that. Yeah, so let's just look around the front to see if I could have pulled that shielded off without getting the board out. Oh, hang on a minute, it's gone back down again now. Oh. The shielding is really nice quality, I have to admit. Nice sharp edges. You could cut a block of cheese with it. It's just here, what's hindering it here? I honestly can't see what is holding it on the front here. What is going on? It's like this bit here. Oh, maybe I just didn't bend those over enough. It really is that simple. Yeah, there we go. I think I'd get on easier with a Rubik's Cube. So yeah, very nice. I like the board. I really do. I like the shape of it. Very cool. Spec-wise, there's not a massive amount of RAM in these that I was surprised to find. It's only, I think it's 2 meg. Tom, is that one Tom? Not sure which one's Tom and which one's Jerry now. Yeah, that one's Tom. The clue with that is it's a CPU. Can you see that? And that one says DSP, so that one's Jerry. So Tom runs, I'm going off my memory now because I looked at this earlier, 26.59 megahertz. It was just a shade under 27 megahertz. So both of those chips run at that speed. The CPU down here runs at a really weird speed. You can see it's, that one's a Motorola 68,000. It's marked 16 megahertz, but it runs at something like 13 point something, I think, or 12 point something. It's not as fast as the main two chips. So Tom was a RISC, in fact they were both RISC processors, these. I think it's, whilst it's technically perhaps 32-bit, part of it is 64-bit. I think internally maybe it's 64-bit. I also read somewhere that the way it accesses the RAM is in 64 bits as well. But I think primarily it's actually a 32-bit chip, and it's the same with the DSP. So I think Tom, whilst it's marked as CPU, does primarily the graphics side of things as well. It's got like I think it's got a 64-bit object processor in there. I don't know what that, I mean, if that means. What objects is it processing? I've got no idea. I think they mean in terms of, you know, how it, you know, the graphics side of things. And I also remember that this has got 4K of internal RAM. I'm not sure whether it's cache RAM or whether it's actually just 4K of actually, you know, RAM, addressable RAM. I'm inclined to think it's probably a cache. And this has got 8K. So the DSP, digital signal processor, again is another RISC. You know, it's got another RISC processor, if you like, this similar to this. But I think the one on here in the DSP was aimed at the audio side of things, and I/O and stuff. I think this contains some timers and stuff as well, Jerry. So I think of like on the Amiga, you see CIAs and stuff. Some of that sort of stuff's built into here, and Paula, well, your equivalent of Paula's built into here. I think it's got like an unlimited number of theoretical channels. You know, it's like it's all limited by software rather than hardware. CD quality audio you can get out of these, and I think graphics wise you've got 24-bit colour and stuff out of these. I've got no idea on the resolution or anything like that, but yeah, so 2 meg of RAM, that's going to be the RAM there, look. So each one of those is going to be 512k. They look similar, if not identical, to the chips that were on the I was going to say the Archimedes. I don't think they are. They're probably just similar. It's the same type of IC, isn't it? Physically the same. PLCC. Is it PLCC? It probably isn't PLCC because it's not got the things around the sides. I forgot what they call it now. It's the same type of chip though that we had physically on the Archimedes there when I looked at that 3010. Someone said Game Boy had better resolution. So this device is 3 times slower than 60Hz mains. Yeah, so what else was I going to say? Yeah, so 2 meg RAM, which is not a lot. I'm amazed that the time this was released, all it had was 2 meg. And then again, when you look at things it was competing against, maybe it wasn't that much of a big deal. But yeah, I think it could have done more with more memory. And I think the cartridges, I read that it'll only go up to 6 meg. You might be ways you can get around that with like bank switching or something, but I think it'll address 6 meg of ROM. So you've got like an 8 meg total theoretical limit. Neffers and chat, sorry I've not been around. No worries, I'm sorry you've been having problems with your teeth there. I know it's a nightmare at the moment, isn't it, trying to get support from dentists and things, because obviously lots of places are, you know, having to be closed because of the lockdown. As I said to you in that, I think someone else posted the same message to you, Neffers, is maybe ring 112, whatever it is, or 111, not 112, the advisory line, and see if you can go and see you know, the emergency NHS dentist or something. It may mean a trip to hospital, though, that's the problem. I'm not sure I want to go to hospital to get my teeth sorted right now. Yeah, so sidetracking myself there. So the 68,000, yeah, where's that now? So yeah, the 68,000 on here was kind of like, sorry, there's a massive amount of noise in the background there. So chopping trees or something down nearby. Yeah, this is supposed to be like a utility processor, maybe for just spoon feeding things to various places, and maybe, I think, handling the controller inputs, maybe. But inevitably, I think when people started working on this, they were looking at the SDK, and there were bugs in it, as I mentioned at the start of this video, and reasons that meant it was just seemed super complicated to develop for. So lots of developers went, hang on a minute, let's just see if we can port our 68,000 Amiga game or ST game onto that processor there, and then just use these for supporting things for the sound and the graphics side of things, and run the main code there. So you ended up with quite a few ST/Amiga ports. I've noticed actually in recent years there's a lot of ST ports being done recently, in the last 5 or so years, maybe the last 10 years. So there are lots of ST games you can play on these as well. That's a nice thing. So whilst you've only got maybe 50 official commercially released games, there are homebrews and prototypes, but also a lot of those ST ports and things as well. I think it'll kind of like emulate the ST to a degree, some of the stuff that people have done for this on the homebrew community. So the common problems you get with these, and I haven't ruled out we might need to do some of this, and I can't for the minute see exactly where they are. I think this might be one of them here. The power IC here, I think, that gets fried. That's super common. I think that's the one, could be wrong. It's in the right area of the board there, isn't it, next to this inductor here, so I think that's what that is. And 9 times out of 10 that happens because someone plugs in a crazy power supply, or like, oh, that looks like a Mega Drive connector, let's try my Mega Drive power supply in it. Maybe the Mega Drive power supply will work, I don't know, I haven't checked the polarity yet. Voltage reg, someone said there, so yeah, it's kind of like a switching voltage reg, I think, assuming I'm looking at the right thing, because there's also, the other one I'm aware of is the audio op amp, wherever that is. It's like it could be a general mixer or something, it could even be a video encoder. It might be one of the chips around here, somewhere around here maybe. I don't know, I can't see it for now. But and the other clue with that is if you search eBay for Jaguars, you're scrolling down there, and I've seen it many times in the past as a constant reminder. You see Jag audio and power fix. It's a little kit you can get, and it comprises of that and the audio op amp, wherever that is. I'm guessing it's one of these here. I don't know, I could be wrong. Yeah, one of these. I don't know. Mind you, there's 3 of those. There's one here, look. So I don't know, could be wrong. But yeah, audio and power are the main things that go wrong with these. And the other thing is, obviously, 9 times out of 10, you may find if you've got a really old one that's well used and stuff, you plug your cart in and you just get a red screen and go, oh no, it's broke. And it might just be a case of just cleaning up the slot there. But I'm sure you can get other failures as well. You've got some of these here. Look, these are going to be a good source of a red screen failure. Look, ACT 245s. So you've got loads of 245 bus transceivers. That's good actually. That means that you might have a good chance of repairing one of these. If you get one with someone's done something weird with a cart there, you never know. It might have caused some damage to one of these transceivers. So if you've got a red screen one, yeah, have a look at that. And some 244s there, perhaps for the address lines and control signals and things that go to the car. So it looks like it's buffered. What's that there? Is that a delay line? Don't know. Looks like a delay line or something. Might not be. Yeah, post down below if you know. I'm just looking at the length of it and stuff, and I'm thinking, fuse? No, it's not going to be a fuse back there. It's right next to this thing, so I think maybe a delay line that actually. What's this area? Video, some sort of video hybrid look? Yeah, that's custom to that. I wouldn't like to break a pin on that. What's this down here? ADC. Is that some sort of analog to digital thing for the controller input maybe? It might not be. ADC might mean something completely different on that. And again, there's just some standard 7.4 series stuff down here. So there's very little on it. There's very little on it. It seems like they've got most of the stuff, the most of the functionality there just within Tom and Jerry. So would I rush and recap this? No, I don't think so, actually. It looks good as new, doesn't it? Before I went in there, it looked like it was brand new, to be fair. There's barely a mark on this this thing. So I won't put the shielding back on yet until I've had time to try and get that working, and I'll perhaps share some of that with you as when the cart arrives. I'll get the laptop out. I didn't say the lap out then. get the laptop out. Yeah, you can sit on my lap, and we'll get the EEPROMs programmed up for a game and see if we can launch a game on it. But at the moment, I can't do anything with it. I mean, I could try and power it, but yeah, I think I'd rather wait for a car actually. So I'll carefully put that out there. We'll just have a quick look inside that Scandinavian A500, and then I'm going to get off, guys. So just put that there, stick that there. Right, so I'm just trying to bring in the A500 here. So, as I say, I think this came from Stefan Scott. So yeah, someone's been a busy little bee with us, haven't they, in the past? Look, they've painted that red. Which, oh, wouldn't be so bad if it was nice and smooth, but it's kind of like bumpy and there's bits of black in it. So yeah, and look over here. This is a curious one. What's this mysterious LED? And it's like being surface welded or so. I don't know what's happened to that. It's like someone's filled it with something. They've drilled a hole or drilled two holes next to each other. You can actually see the shape of the circle there. So someone's drilled two holes and then filled it with hot glue or something and made it smooth. So I mean, it looks quite flat. You can't feel anything. It's totally flat. And then we've got an LED glued on the inside. So anyway, so you can see my reason of thinking about sending this off to the guy who, I can't remember his name now. Someone's just had to delete a message there. I soiled my undercrackers. Yeah, we've got someone playing games in the chat again now. Let me just move that out of the way. So yeah, I'm going to send that off. Hang on a minute, there's no board in this. I was expecting to see a board in there. I think, I've took the board out. There you go. It's that long since I've looked at it. Let me just find the board. Hang on a sec. I've got a pile of A500 boards here. It's a Rev 5 board. It's this one actually, I found it. And I think, yeah, here we are. So this is the board that was in here. You'll see some of this in the future. It didn't have a power socket here, so I've temporarily borrowed the power socket of one of the other boards in order to get this up and running. So I think this board actually is okay. So surprisingly, someone's decided to pull the power socket of it, and there's nothing actually wrong with it. The whole board is fine. But that seems to be where we are these days, doesn't it? So there's lots of people building these 500++ boards and then just destroying anything they can get their hands on to try and get the parts together to build one. You can see though the Scandinavian keyboard here. Yeah, this is very different. I mean, it's got the standard layout here, hasn't it? QWERTY, UIOP. What's that key normally? I honestly can't remember. There was another keyboard somewhere nearby here. I don't know where it's gone now. Let me just grab the other keyboard just to compare. I want to just see what's different. Yeah, I'm not going to get far doing this comparison difference, am I? Because look at what I just picked up. I thought, right, let's just compare it to a normal keyboard. And you can see straight away there's nothing normal about this keyboard either. What country is this one from? I think we've got two different countries here. Is this one's Swedish and this one's Danish, or is this one German? And what's this AE? I thought that was a Scandinavian thing, and that zero there. But that's different to this one, look. So we've got QWERTY UIOP U. Yeah, is that where U normally is? I honestly can't remember. I'm just looking at my Mac. Yeah, you usually have UIOP, don't you? Yes, no, you got that there, UIOP. So we've got the other U. Hang on, let's just get a third keyboard here. Things are getting confusing. I can't honestly remember the layout of a normal keyboard. It's usually brackets, isn't it? It's usually brackets. Here we go. So we've got a third keyboard now. There's not enough room for all these keyboards here, but anyway, if we look at that one, yeah, so you've got UIOP and then brackets. So on this one you've got UIOP and then, yeah, these characters here. So it's just the brackets, isn't it? And then the other difference is after your JKL, yeah. So It's totally usable. It might confuse you if you're looking for certain symbols like your colons and semicolons. All those, they are marked on that one, but they're not marked on this one. After you've got the JKL, you've then got the O and the A there. Yeah, and you've got different characters there. Look, you've got that little hi-hat thing and the hash. And that one's a star and a comma. Yeah, and it's normally and a hash. So, and up here as well, look, we've got that weird beta symbol there, look. So 0, yeah, usually have minus, plus, backslash. Yeah, so in this one you've got, hang on, that's really confusing me. Yeah, minus, plus, whereas that one's like an equals, question mark with a weird B and weird symbols. And that one, again, it's got the minus and, well, that's really confusing. That one's got a plus and a minus and a plus. So I'm like, well, which plus? Yeah, which plus is which? Super confusing. I'm sure if you come from the countries that use these, it's super useful. It's super easy to understand. But me looking at that, I'd be wondering where the plus is actually. But yeah, I'm going to keep these keyboards as is. I'm not going to swap those keys out or anything, but we'll use them for some of these things, including trying to get that A500 up and running. So yeah, I'll perhaps tomorrow when I've got time in the morning, I might do it tonight if I've got time, I'll get that case boxed up. I'm not going to send the keyboard because I'll probably just clean and retrobite the keys maybe on these, decide which one I'm going to go with. I'm inclined to stick this one because this looks a lot less faded, doesn't it? That one there is quite yellowed. Incidentally, you can see a mod or a fix that I tried to do here. This one was, hang on, got the wire trapped. This one was missing a cable. So I bought some of these things that are already wired. Look, it's already wired with the right connector there. So I'm not sure it was a good idea because I ended up having to extend it, as you can see. But it does mean that this one now should work. But it's got some bad dirt traces and it's got some green paint. This, can you see this? Some green paint will need to remove from that as well, and on the space bar. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. Not particularly exciting. JU253 in this one, floppy drive. So you got any questions or anything, guys, before I get off? I'm going to tidy up and get my tea, I think. Stephen sent me a message earlier saying he's sending me a bridge board for my A4000, which is just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, the generosity of that guy. I owe you so much, Stephen, I really do, because he's provided the A4000 board you've seen previously, and I'll show you that over the next few days as well. Perhaps, I might have a session where I don't do any electronics and I just play some games for an hour and have a chat or something. I might do that because I just feel like playing games anyway. I've been like that for a few days where I think I wouldn't mind playing some games. Same with the Mega Drive. I might have an hour where I just spend an hour or two playing games on the Mega Drive and catch up with people and stuff. If it's not your cup of tea, you can always pass on it. There's no worries there. Don't feel like you have to watch my videos. Why does the Jag have multiple crystals? Well, all systems generally you'll find there's more than one crystal. Typically you'll have a crystal for a master clock that may get divided down or and sent to various places. But then more often than not, you'll also have at least a second crystal for the video side of things. So if you think about PAL and NTSC, you saw there's a modulator on that Jaguar board there. There'll be a PAL colour burst signal and stuff, and you need a different crystal there depending on whether you're trying to generate NTSC colour or PAL colour. So you have different frequencies for that. Mark Johnson, well, fuck you then, skip my question. Sorry, Mark Johnson, I haven't seen your question. I can't keep up with the chat. Let's just read back a bit. Let's see what he said. Mark Johnson, what about mouses? Hang on a sec. Honestly, I think he's good. Yeah, just block him. Just block him. Honest to God, I can't believe people get so stressed about things just because I haven't had a chance to read their question. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, it really isn't the end of the world. RC Man, hey Gadget, is there anything you're looking for? Yeah, people don't act like idiots in chat. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't join someone's Gadget, you wanker, read me question. Michael's workshop. Hang on. Oh, he's joking. Yeah, I thought Michael's workshop was joining the. queue of morons there joining the thing. I'm sorry if I genuinely, if I miss something, I'm not deliberately skipping past what you've said. I've just missed it. That's all. Because you know what? You try doing one of these streams yourself, Mark Johnson. You try doing a stream yourself, and just see how easily you can keep up with chat whilst you're actually thinking about how to answer questions and whilst you're actually doing the stream stuff. Is very hard. I've missed 95% of what's been said today. But you know what? I do actually watch these back, and with something where someone's asked something, you know, and it's been important, and I've understood that from the question, I get back to you. And sometimes, and some of them I haven't done yet, but I will be going back through some of the last few videos and putting some comments there in the chat just to explain and to answer some of the things that were asked. But yeah, I'm sorry if I missed these things. It really isn't the end of the world, though. There's no need to explode and think the end of the world's coming. So is there anything else now before I get off, guys? Anything I've missed that's important? As I say, you can get my attention with @GadgetUK164, and then it's highlighted in orange. We've certainly had a few people today, though. I think I've seen 3 now. Mike Simcox, don't let it stress you, Chris. It ain't worth it. No, I'm not stressed. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I am when I first read it, and I think I'll just ban them, you know, get rid of them. It doesn't surprise me. I'm quite surprised, to be honest. We haven't had any more people like that on previous streams. Thank you very much to Michael and Stephen for moderating that. And I think I made Neth as a moderator, but it didn't seem to work. So I'll make Neth as a moderator again, actually. Yeah, I can't do it now because the chat is moving and bouncing all over the place. That's the problem when I try doing it in chat here. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the donation we had earlier as well. I noticed that was much appreciated. Thanks for your comments and your support and stuff. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.